Hello, just Gem here and welcome, or indeed welcome back to my channel. It's that time again for new makeup releases, and I think it's come around even quicker than it normally seems to, because I haven't been posting very much because I can't tell whether I'm coming or going, to be honest, but I have some time. I can film, I can catch up a little bit, well maybe not even catch up a little bit. I've got some time, so I'm going to see what I can do, how much I can film, how much I can edit. Who knows? We'll see. To the matter at hand, new makeup. Now, I don't know if it's because I've been busy, but there hasn't been that much in the last couple of weeks. At least that's how it seems. So more than ever, you're going to have to let me know if I've missed anything glaringly obvious. Before I sat down to film this, I did kind of have a bit of a scroll back to see if there was anything noteworthy I missed. I mean, I don't cover everything, obviously. I would be here till Christmas. But, you know, the noteworthy pieces, the things that really catch your eye, mostly indie, smattering of mainstream every now and again. And which way do I normally shunt? Gosh, you can tell it's been a while because I can't even remember which way I normally move. Let's move this way. This way feels like the natural way to go. So yeah, we'll do that and then we'll put things over here. Hello. I might have mentioned this because it had been teased. I think with a lot of these releases it had been teased for a little while. Perhaps not as long as other things that have been teased. It's the Glamlight Lord of the Rings collection, which has now dropped. If you want to get the whole collection with the PR box, it's $148. Without the PR box, it's $130. The palette is $38. There's a lip treatment that's $16. The Rivendell lip kit is $21. The Eye of Sauron lip kit is $24. The One Ring highlighter is $18, and the bag is $42. I think the bag's quite hideous. I'm not a fan of that. To each their own. I mean, I get it. It's kind of like a Hobbit home, and it's got the map on it, and it's got the inscription on the ring and stuff, but I've never seen a Glamlight bag and thought, ooh, yes, I must have it. And this is no exception for me. It would be a big fan no. Big fan no. I will say I'm not getting any of it, but I will just kind of point out perhaps the highlights. And speaking of the highlights, one of the items in the bundle is the One Ring highlighter. And it's your pretty standard gold toned highlighter. I guess it's not yellow gold, it's quite a nice gold, to be fair. And I do quite like the packaging. I do think the packaging is quite nice, but again, you know, as I said, no, pass. I don't know if the Eye of Sauron, I don't know. I don't know if I feel that the products within the kit truly match. It just kind of feels like maybe there was an overflow of that colour lip liner and that colour lipstick and that colour gloss, so they put them together in a kit and stamped Eye of Sauron on it. That's just kind of what I feel about it. I don't know if maybe I'd expect it to be more red toned, or is that just really, is that too on the nose for it to be like red and black? I don't know, but I just feel like there should be more to it than there is. There is another lip kit as well. I don't have too many pictures of that. I guess it looks pretty, but just no. I think the main attraction for me would 100% be the eyeshadow palette. I'm an eyeshadow palette fiend. If I was to get anything, it would be the palette. And I'm just sort of looking at it here. I was expecting it to have more green. I think I wrote a note here because I talked about it in the last makeup releases I did, and I think, yeah, so I've jotted down here, think it might have Dirty Martini, Cosmic Brushes Undergrowth and Jacob palette vibes. Maybe a hint of Jacob, a small smattering. Very light on the green, which surprised me. I did think there would be more green in there. And there's a bit of debate among fans whether the colour story follows the law. And some people, not law as in L-A-W, I mean law as in L-O-R. Some people have said it is true to the story, and others have said it isn't. Maybe it's down to interpretation. It's a pretty enough palette, but I think it's perhaps too many light shades for me. I think I prefer a little bit more depth. Broken record gem here. It's pretty, but it's not really doing it for me. So that would be a full pass on the entire I was about to say Glaminatrix, no, wrong glam. Glamlight Lord of the Rings collection. And then speaking of collections, Colourpop. And you would be forgiven for thinking, oh, deja vu, haven't Colourpop just done a Disney collection? Yes, they have, Tangled, which I think they did really well on. But now they've got Lilo and Stitch, and they've gone, in my opinion, completely the other way. So you've got a collection here where you can get the whole lot for $95. The palette's $22. There's a lip set, which is $33, but I believe you can get them each individually for $12. Stick duos, well, no, one stick duo for $16. A pH blush for $14, and the Ohana highlighter for $14 also. The Ohana highlighter is quite pretty. It's got like a marbled effect to it, but it's gold overall. Maybe not too dissimilar to the Glamlight one, actually. I wonder if maybe the Glamlight one would be a bit warmer, whereas the Colourpop Lilo and Stitch one maybe is a bit cooler by the time you've swirled all the colours. So it's very pretty to look at. The palette though is missing the mark, and what I will do is so Deandra Nicole posted a prompt over on IG to say, I'm going to do some BYOPs, drop me your suggestions and I'll build some palettes according to those suggestions. And this had just dropped and I saw the colour story and I thought it was lacking. So I said, do Lilo and Stitch, but like show Colourpop how it's done. And Deandra actually did take on that suggestion and built a palette, and I think it's so much better. I'm showing it to you now so you can let me know what you think. Who did it better, Colourpop or Deandra Nicole? You let me know. So again, don't even get me started on a pH colour changing blush. I don't know why we're still on this pH bandwagon. It's just it's very early noughties, isn't it, really, that whole pH thing. Would I go as far as the 90s? Was it a thing back then? No, that might be pushing it, but definitely it was a noughties thing. Why are they still coming back to that? No, Colourpop. No. So for me, this is a swing and a miss, whereas Tangled and even Toy Story caught my eye, and I think they did really, really well there. They've dropped the ball with Lilo and Stitch, and it would be a hard pass on everything, and I wouldn't even be tempted by the palette, whereas with the other two collections, with palettes being my thing, if they were to ever go on sale, I could be tempted by the Toy Story or the Tangled palettes. Lilo and Stitch, no. Not even if money were no object. I wouldn't want it at all. No, definitely not. Terra Moons are doing their first ever factory made palette, so I'm not overly familiar with the brand Terra Moons. I think some of their singles are available on Monolith, but generally it's a brand that's less accessible to me unless I'm willing to pay an arm and a leg. So I haven't bought anything from them, and they tend to be quite pricey, to be honest, possibly because they are hand pressed. But this one, I'm going to butcher the name. It's the 13th constellation. Ophiuchus? No, hang on. Ophiuchus? Is that how you say it?
Ophiuchus.
Oh, yeah.
Ophiuchus.
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 There we go. Ophiuchus, the 13th constellation. No, the 13th what is it? The 13th zodiac sign. That's what I'm trying to say. Good Lord. So this is appealing to me, but I do wonder if a couple of the greens in there are quite close, perhaps closer than I would like. But generally, this does look appealing. It's $57. I don't think I even want to know how much shipping to me would be. Probably about half the cost of the palette. But let's see if it comes to Monolith, and if it does come to Monolith, how much it is there. Highly likely it would probably just be £57, maybe £60, because Monolith like to mark things up a little bit. But let's see, if it comes to Monolith, this could be something that I would consider. Bella Beauty Bar, they're dropping a lot. Didn't they literally only just drop Smoky Glam? And then, what was it before? And then Green Goddess before that, wasn't it? Realm of Fairies before that. I think they've been dropping quite a lot. They're starting to move into Nomad territory, I think, with their releases. I don't know if they wanna slow down, but they've just revealed Ocean Jewel, and it's like deja vu, because I know in another new makeup releases I talked about how it seems as though indie brands will pick up on trends and they'll all sort of jump on it, and you'll find that there's a mini wave of really similar themes and colour stories. So back then it was Vamp, Sinister, Smitten, Bitten, Tainted, possibly The Crow, which I know is being re-released, and now it's Beauty Below, Call of the Siren, Ocean Jewel. So as well as showing Ocean Jewel itself, I'll put up a picture that I sort of quickly put together just to show those three palettes that I said next to each other for like an easy comparison. And I said it then, and I'll kind of reiterate it now. I just end up feeling bad for whoever happens to put their release out last, because potentially if you didn't buy Beauty Below, you may well have bought Call of the Sirens, and now that Ocean Jewel has come out, how many people are still on the market for a palette of that nature? I just don't know if there's a need to have all three. As pretty as I think Ocean Jewel is, I don't think it's one I would get. Is it different enough? For me, I'm not sure. I could understand why you might want all three. I could. And I mean, I could, you know, if someone offered me all three, I would be like, no, no, thank you. They're all very similar. I would take all three. If someone said to me, would you like them? I would take them. But would I buy all three? I don't know. Like if someone, for example, said, here's a Lilo and Stitch palette, I genuinely don't think I would take it, because why? I wouldn't use it. So, like, no. But with these ones, if someone gave them to me, I'd gladly accept, but I just don't know if I'd want to spend my money on all three of them. I just feel it's a bit excessive. And I've already got Beauty Below, and I'm still debating whether or not I should do a Scratch That Itch. It's basically, let me know if you want to see a Scratch That Itch with that, but I came to the conclusion that one, I don't know if that ship has sailed, and two, they're more different than I initially thought. I knew in my mind that Beauty Below was grungier and Call of the Sirens was poppier and brighter, but I think it was when I kind of sat down to start matching up the colours I realised just how much darker and grungier Beauty Below actually is. And it did make me realise that, yeah, you could 100% justify having both. You could. I just still don't think I would go for it. Maybe if Call of the Sirens ever went on sale, because I do like the brightness. And I think if it was a case of, okay, so you've got Beauty Below, would you go for Ocean Jewel or Call of the Siren? I think it would be Call of the Siren for me. But who knows? I've still got to try Poison Garden. I'm so far behind. Like, honestly, I still need to try Bella Beauty Bar to see what the formula is like. I don't know, maybe when I try Poison Garden, I'll look at all the Bella Beauté bar palettes and think to myself, I want them all. I want them all. I don't know. But just to revisit the Terra Moons Ophiuchus, I think that's still how you pronounce it. I've forgotten already. It kind of has a similar-ish vibe to Green Goddess, but again, it's more punchy. And I do prefer that to Green Goddess. So it kind of seems to me that at the moment, some of the releases from Bella Beauté Bar are similar to others, but are coming next. They're not bad, but there's just something else that's similar, but in my view, I feel better. If you've seen Green Goddess and Ophiuchus, let me know which one you would prefer. I mean, they're by no means the same, but they've got like a earthiness, it's got the greens in it, but Green Goddess is a bit more muted, and Ophiuchus has got that boldness and that vibrancy to it, and I find that more appealing. That's what I would go for. That's dropping on the 29th of May, and that's $75. Ocean Jewel. Titanium Foxes have, well, it's not even a sneak peek, they've showed the whole palette now, but there's going to be a release on the 1st of June called Hidden Piece. No price at this point, but going by previous Titanium Foxes palettes, it's probably going to be around the 50 to 60 euro mark. I do now have all 4 of the palettes. In fact, on my eyes right now, I haven't filmed this. Well, I've filmed like a reel / TikTok, but on my eyes today, I've got Grackle Chat. There's something about Titanium Foxes where I'm finding the colour stories are similar but in a complementary way. I was a bit concerned about how different Jay's Joy would be to Poppy Quiet. Just told it, I mean, I'll do a proper video, but I just thought, because I'm talking about Titanium Foxes, I just thought I'd show them side by side. So if you've seen before, I've made the comment that Jay's Joy is perhaps almost like a deeper version of Poppy Quiet. But now I see them side by side, I think these will end up being really nice sort of companion palettes. That's Titanium Fox's Hidden Piece, which looks rather pretty. Adept Element 115 is being discontinued, and I'm unimpressed because it's out of stock on Monolith, so I couldn't buy it from there at the extortionate price it's listed for, even if I wanted to. Shipping here is extortionate, and for some reason some companies in the US add tax and others don't. Really bizarre. And then I was exploring the option, I've got a family member who's going to the States who could like get it for me, but shipping to where my family member's going to be is extortionate. No, it's not extortionate, it's free, but it's going to take 25 business days, and they'll have come and gone by then. And I'm loath to place the order. It probably won't take 25 business days, but you know, if it does take a long time, I wouldn't have a leg to stand on with customer service if it didn't arrive in time, because they stated it could take anywhere between 10 and 25 business days. I'm not willing to take the risk for the expense. Do I want Element 115? Yes, I do. I also want Flying Fiddles, but I'm gonna have to figure something else out, but I probably won't have figured it out before Element 115 sells out, which is infuriating because I missed out on Cyborg Choir, and I thought to myself, it's fine, Element 115 is similar and probably closer to what you would like anyway. And in the minute I decided that and put that on my to buy list, it then got announced it was being discontinued. Knowing my luck, Flying Fiddles is next, but I am going to try to make sure that at the very least I secure Flying Fiddles. And I've just thought of something else. I've got another family member going. Maybe they'll be going to a place where the shipping won't be 25 business days. I'll have to explore that when I finish filming. Lethal Cosmetics Adventure Time collection. I'm not familiar with Adventure Time, I'm not going to lie. I don't know if that's telling my age or if I've just been living under a rock of some description. It doesn't mean anything to me, Adventure Time. They've shown the whole collection. I don't have pricing apart from the palette because they've done a more in-depth reel on the palette itself, and that's €54 or $59. So this whole collection is coming out on the 29th of May. The palette's quite nice. It seems to me, going by Kaima Cosmetics, Frosted Fairy, Danessa Myricks, Mini Pastel Dream, and now this, that pastels are in. So it's end of spring, coming into summer, pastels seem to be the thing. I'm going to hold out for Sugar and Grunge. Well, that's not specifically a pastel palette. I'd rather get that than pick up, say, something like Adventure Time. I think with Frosted Fairy, which I do need to do a proper video with, that's going to be different enough to Sugar and Grunge, but I think Adventure Time could be too similar to have both, and to be honest, I think I'd rather have Blend Bunny. I don't know when Sugar and Grunge is coming back. I don't know if it's going to be called Sugar and Grunge. I would imagine not. But I'm going to sit tight and wait for that. I do quite like this colour story though. It's fun. And even though it's pastel, it does seem to have some range to it. Yeah, it's got some deep shades in there that aren't pastel at all. So I do like the colour story in that, and I appreciate that it's got a squishy lid for some extra cushioning. I mean, there's a lot in this collection, a lot. There's the palette, which again is the one I'm drawn to. There's like a makeup bag, which is similar style to the Lethal Avatar collection one that they did. The upper makeup bag, I want to say upper. So similar to that, and they've got all sorts of other bits in there. To be honest, the only thing that's really grabbing me is the palette. There's nothing else there that's making me go, ooh, that looks interesting. No. What is Adventure Time? Is it a game? That mirror is cool. And I could do with a mirror. See, even that mirror I'd be tempted to get. These highlighters, no. Yeah, see, that they look peachy, those lippies. Maybe they aren't, but I don't know, something about them. Lip scrub and balm duo by the looks of it. I think this, I mean, considering I'm not familiar with Adventure Time at all, I don't think we've even heard of it. Avatar I'd at least heard of. The Last Airbender I had heard of. And I didn't buy from that because of the collection. I bought from that because I liked the colour stories of the bits that I did pick up. The palette could have tempted me if Sugar and Grunge wasn't coming. I think so. But no. If money were no object, I mean, yeah, if I won the lottery tomorrow, I might pick it up. But realistically, Beauty Moon Cosmetics are re-releasing their palette Cosmology, which was released originally about a year ago, but they've updated the formula and I think they've got 2 new shades in there. So it's available for pre-order at the moment and it's due in around sort of 3 weeks time. I am going to get this because I've been wanting to try Beauty Moon Cosmetics for ages, and when I was looking at their back catalogue, Cosmology was the one that stood out to me the most. And I remember Tori mentioning in passing that it was coming back, but she didn't have any more info to give at that time. So it's finally coming back. It'll be in about 3 weeks time. I think I'll sit tight for a little while, and then I'm a bit nervy about doing pre-orders now. I really don't like it. I know I did it for Nearly Natural, but that's because the pre-order time frame was much shorter. I think it was literally coming in a week. I was happy enough to do that, and maybe, I mean, with this being 3 weeks, maybe I will. And I'm thinking I might at the same time order the Mantra duo. I did like the look of the Mantra duo. I'm still questioning the depth in there, if it's gonna be enough. But having seen other people use it, I think it could be. And the other thing that held me back, and I know it's really finicky, but the lack of capitalisation of some of the shade names, it would drive me mad. But I've checked with Tori and the restock will have the correct capitalisation, so I feel more comfortable in getting those now. So I think I'll just do an order to get all three. I don't have a code, but I know that Cole does, Cole of the Ball, and I know that Erica does. Cole's only just got her, so I don't know if it's just Cole of the... I'll put it on the screen, but I don't know if it's just Cole of the Ball, but I know that Erica's is Erica15. Feel free to use one of their codes if you want to save 15% on Beauty Moon Cosmetics. But Cosmology Revamped, that is one I'm going to get. Fenty X Smurfette. So this... I'm not going to go into this too much because it's not like the other collections where you can buy bits individually. You have to get the whole collection, and it's £129. And as cute as it kind of is, I wouldn't. If I could get individual bits, I might be tempted. I'd rarely say no to a Fenty lip gloss. I like Fenty lip products generally, so I could be tempted by that. And it was the Lippy. That was quite a nice shade, and I do think that beauty blender. I know it's not a beauty blender, but it's a toadstool, and I think it's adorable. I mean, it would be ruined instantaneously. I don't know if I could bring myself to actually use it. I think it's something that would have to be on display. Noricorn, is that how you pronounce that? Noricorn X Ghoul in Japan. I've got a palette out, or is it? I think it's out now. $47.99, and it gives me sort of Beetlejuicy vibes. Beetlejuicy vibes minus like the full-on purple colour. Like it's got the chartreuse. I don't know if this is very me as a colour story, but there is one multi in there that looks beautiful. I'll play the video on the screen of these swatches that I'm looking at right now, and I'll point to the multi-chrome that looks beautiful. Looking at it again now, it does look really nice. But is it $48 nice? 10 shades. Says the woman who used to buy Pat McGrath, but I never paid Pat McGrath prices for Pat McGrath. Again, I'd actually see beauty. Let me have a look and see what shipping would be from that, because having said that I don't know if this is very me, the more I look at these swatches, the more appealing this palette becomes. Like that one multi-chrome. Like the looks I've got in mind, could I get that actually from Grackle Chat, which I still have right beside me here? Like thinking that red looks a bit like Evening Sunbath. And then there's Winter Blood, and I feel like just looking at this now. No, I don't need it, because yeah, I could get something fairly similar, and I don't like those super bright greens in there. Give me a vibrant green or an earthy green, but not a chartreusey green like that. Those are not my kind of greens. I'm quite glad I happen to still have Grackle Chat in front of me here. I talked myself out of that one because I was wavering. I was nearly there, guys. I was nearly there. Sorry, I'm still mesmerised by those swatches, but no, we're gonna move along now. I think the last thing to mention that's coming out, again I don't have any pricing, but Blend Bunny have been teasing for a little while a masterclass collab collection with Jordan Liberty, and that's coming on May the 30th. And from what the first part is, from what I understand, there's going to be a few drops. It's not just going to be this initial drop, which is 2 palettes. One's a quad, which is like a multi-use palette, and the other one is like blushes and highlighters. It's a 50 pan magnetic palette. I believe they're both magnetic. And then they've got some brushes and they've got some lip oils in different finishes. When they dropped the reveal picture, I looked at it and I thought, oh, meh, whatever. But then Deandra Nicole has done a reel where she's gone into everything in a little bit more depth, and she's like demonstrating it, and she's done swatches on her arm, and the colours just pop. They look beautiful. They really, really do. And it made me want it. So, you know, job as influencer done. And it also made me start thinking, I wonder how many people have passed on buying something just because they couldn't easily tell what it was going to look like on their skin tone. I think things are different in the States, where you can try something in Sephora, and if you find that it doesn't work for you, you can sort of take it back. You can't do that in the UK. You know, if you buy something and it ends up not working for you, you're lumbered with it. That's your money gone. So there have been times when I've either not bought something, and maybe later on down the line, especially if it was limited edition, found out it would have worked for me, but I just had no point of reference. I couldn't see what it might look like on me. And there have been other times where I've been burnt and I've bought something because I've taken a gamble thinking, I reckon it could be alright, and it wasn't. It really, really wasn't at all. I do that less now. That happened more when I was getting into makeup and I had no idea about colour theory or anything like that, and I just blindly buy things, and maybe that's why, because I've been burnt, I'm less inclined to do that now. I want to see what it's going to look like on a deeper skin tone first before I put my hand in my pocket. Maybe every now and again, now that I have a channel, I might take one for the team, but I'm quite lucky now that Deandra Nicole's on a lot of PR lists, so she gets a lot of stuff, so I'm able to see what stuff is going to look like on someone with a very similar skin tone to me sooner rather than later. I would before have to wait months, and sometimes I wouldn't get to see it at all. Representation matters. Show me what it's going to look like on my skin tone, and then I'll be more inclined to hand over my hard-earned coin. So in this example, I scrolled straight past it. I don't think that the picture that Jordan Liberty and Blend Bunny have posted of the collection does it any justice whatsoever, but Deandra's reel has really made it shine, and to me it looks beautiful. So something that looked really basic from the photo in my eyes, she's made it shine. She's brought it to life in that reel. No pricing yet. So I'll be keeping an eye out, and I might pick up one or two things. It will be at Glisten. I hope it will be at Glisten. It might take a while to get to Glisten, because I think Blend Bunny, Maggie from Blend Bunny, said something about how I think it would drop at places like is it I Feel Beautiful Canada, like just external suppliers. I think it will drop a little bit later. I don't know, but I'll keep an eye out. May 30th it's dropping initially, and then I'll see when it drops on Glisten Cosmetics, and I'll keep an eye out for the price. But from being a straight up no to a maybe, let's see what the price point is. No on the lip oils. The main thing I'm eyeing is that multi-purpose palette. That's the main thing I'm eyeing. However, Deandra has made the bigger 15 pattern palette look appealing. Do I need any more blush and highlighter? Absolutely not. No, I mean, do I need any more? Do I need any more makeup full stop at this point? Who am I kidding? No, I don't. Will I still buy more makeup? Yes. Hello. Makeupless but considerably less exhausted Gem today. Apologies for the voice. I wish I could say it's because it's early in the morning, but it's not. So it's been drawn to my attention that the Blend Bunny and Jordan Liberty collab has some questionable shade names, and when I say questionable, I mean a la NARS type shade names. So if you're unfamiliar with the naming convention of some of NARS's products, They like to, I think they probably did it for shock value at first. Maybe they realised that they were slipping. So to get people talking, they introduced names such as orgasm and deep throat. Classy. And it seems that Blend Bunny and Jordan Liberty have gone down a similar vein with shade names that include things like Thrust and what was the other one? Now, I hadn't spotted these because I'd been concentrating on the shades themselves, and the shade names are actually quite small and in delicate gold font, so I hadn't realised what some of these shade names were. And they're all in the £15 one. So the £4 palette, which is the one, to be honest, I was most drawn to, has perfectly reasonable and non-adult names. And I'm not saying like I'm a prude or anything like that, but I just think if you're positioning yourself as a collection for makeup artists, I think the name should be more considered than that. That's just my view anyway. I just imagine you're doing a bride's makeup and they say to you, oh, this is a really lovely blush, can you let me know what shade it is so I can get it for myself? Oh yes, it's called Thrust. If you're trying to position yourself as professional, I think that you've got to really think about the shade names that you want associated with yourself. Bezo, okay fine, I'll let that one go. Safe word, it's not no safe word. Rated R, teetering. I think these are some of the gloss names. Love Bomb. I don't know, when you think about the connotations of love bombing, I just don't know. And I mean, some people may think you're overthinking this. It's too deep. It's just a name. I'm not convinced. I now can't find the shade names of the blushes. This is why I glossed over them. I can barely see them. Innuendo, Safe Word, Afterglow, which... Afterglow in isolation is fine, but in the context of Safe Word, Innuendo and Thrust is an entirely different story, really, isn't it? Fetish, Disobey... yeah. After coming round to it from seeing Deandra's reel, now that I know the shade names has put me off again, I'd still probably get that multi-purpose quad. Again, I want to see what the price point is. But just to say that the £15 blush and highlight palette is off the table for me. Maybe it's an age thing as well. I'm getting on a bit and I'm just not a fan of those kinds of shade names, to be perfectly honest. Makeupless Gem, signing out. I'm going to leave it there because I'm knackered, guys. I'm really, really tired, and I think that's because I woke up early this morning. I may attempt a lie-in tomorrow, which means it's not going to happen because, you know, why would my body let me have a lie-in when it could wake me up at 6 o'clock in the morning? But I'm exhausted, and it's going to be interesting editing this back because I have a sneaky suspicion that my tiredness is really going to show. I've been blinking a lot. Should have taken my contact lenses out and put my glasses on. I didn't. Stubbornness, laziness, call it what you want. I've been a bit rambly, but there wasn't much there. So what have I missed? Because I have been in my own little bubble, and I have dipped in and out, and I probably, you know, it's probably a good thing, but like I haven't been on IG as much as perhaps I normally am to spot these new releases. So is there anything that has Cosmic decided that they're going to drop a palette that I don't know of? I know Artitude are going to be dropping something. It was meant to be a spring release, but it's going to be more in the summer. I know that their website is up and running again now after Rooks took it down to rebuild it. I think there were a few teething problems when it first opened, but I think it's kind of been resolved now. So I do know Artitude are coming out with something, but is there anything I've missed? I was about to say, have Nomad dropped anything, but they've just announced, which I was privy to, yay, look at me, but they are re-releasing one of their older palettes. It's pretty obvious now, it's pixelated, but I think you can guess from the pixelation what the palette is, but I'm still not going to say let's wait for it to drop. Let's not ruin the surprise in case you haven't been able to guess. So while they're not dropping something new, Nomad will be coming out with something again. Gosh, they're churning them out. Is there anything, I'm trying to think of other brands that normally come out with things that maybe could have dropped something that I haven't seen. But I think that's it. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if there's anything I've missed, because I feel like I must have done. That's very light for 2 weeks of potential drops. I hope that you found this video useful. I hope that you found this video enjoyable, and I also hope to see you again in a video in the not too distant future. Take care. Bye. I want to say there was something, was it Realm of Fairies? Realm of Fairies before that?